Washington, CNN. When President Donald Trump took the stage in Alabama on Friday night to rally support for Senator Luther Strange, you could tell he was in the mood to make some noise, and some news. His hopes for repeal and replace of the Affordable Care Act had been dealt a near-fatal blow just hours before, when Arizona Senator John McCain announced he would not support the latest iteration of the legislation. His one-time senior strategist, Steve Bannon, as well as some of his other allies, including former Alaska Governor Sarah Palin and his own Housing and Urban Development Secretary Ben Carson, were fighting hard for Roy Moore, the man trying to oust Strange in Tuesday's Republican runoff. A handful of recent poll numbers had shown Trump's image improving, albeit slightly, with voters. And, as he almost always does in these situations, Trump played perfectly to type, delivering an 80-minute rambling defense of his administration with a series of asides, tangents, stories, and "I probably shouldn't say this but I will anyway-isms." I went through the whole speech and picked out the 64 lines that stood out to me. They're below. 1. I love this place. And you know we set every record in Alabama. It's not totally clear what exact records Trump is referring to here. It could be a record for largest crowd to attend a political rally. Those records aren't really kept. Although Trump did say during the Republican primary process that 32,000 people attended his rally in February 2016, the largest crowd, he claimed, to attend any political rally in the campaign to date. Local police estimated the crowd as half the size Trump said. Trump might have also been talking about the raw number of votes he got in the state as a record. He received 1,318,255, more than any previous Republican nominee. 3. He's only been there for, 34 years or something like that, right? Trump is talking here about Alabama Republican Sen. Rich Shelby, who undoubtedly loves the fact that the president reminded a big crowd of people who don't love Washington politicians that Shelby has been in office for more than 3 decades. 4. He's doing a good job. He is doing a good job. This is Trump on Attorney General Jeff Sessions. The man he called beleaguered. The man he called an idiot. The man he said should resign after Sessions recused himself from the Russia probe and a special counsel was created to deal with the investigation. Same dude. 5. It's going to happen. It's going to happen quickly. Quickly. Better. Trump on the efforts to rebuild after the hurricanes that hit Texas and Florida. Things are going to be rebuilt. Better. And quickly. Quickly. Better. Better quickly. 6. We are going to take care of the bad people. Tougher. Stronger. Better. Trump did not make clear how we are going to take care of the bad people. 8. Rocket Man should have been handled a long time ago. 9. This should have been handled 8 years ago and 4 years ago and, honestly, and 15 years ago and 28 years ago and 25 years ago. 11. He is watching us like he never watched anybody before. That I can tell you. The unstable dictator of a rogue nation is watching the U.S. more closely than ever before. This is, according to Trump logic, a good thing. 12. Maybe something gets worked out. And maybe it doesn't. Some people say we will have another world war with nuclear weaponized countries. Others don't. Man, I can't wait to see how this cliffhanger ends! 13. Well, maybe something gets worked out and maybe it doesn't. 14. Nobody is going to mess with our people. Nobody is going to play games. Trump loves to play tough guy. He loves to insist that nothing bad is ever going to happen to the U.S. while he's in charge. And that all of our enemies, and even some of our longtime allies, need to be woken up to the fact that there's a new sheriff in town. 16. He may be smart. He may be strategic. And he may be totally crazy. 17. I have a lot of friends. And some of them say, "Do you mind if I go to the other candidate?" Really, you can. This begins a long story Trump tells about Strange and his loyalty. But the president begins the story by noting that lots of his friends are for Roy Moore, and he's totally fine with that! 18. I'm on the phone screaming at people all day long, for weeks. It's hard to imagine why Trump's lobbying efforts on the first repeal and replace bill didn't work. 19. That was a totally unexpected thing. Terrible. Honestly, terrible. Trump on McCain killing the last repeal and replace effort. Worth noting here that McCain has brain cancer. And that Trump has praised him as a patriot for returning to Washington in the summer to take part in the healthcare debate. 20. I said if I lose this election, maybe I'll end up moving to Alabama or Kentucky. The chances of Donald Trump ever moving to Alabama and Kentucky are roughly the same as the chances of Kentucky beating Alabama in football this year. 21. If